Hi, so excited you're here. Happy Earth Day. This here is my friend Fred. Remember I told you to find your favorite stuffed animal or animal at your house. And this is Fred and he's a flamingo. Yes, I won him at an auction at Divil, a raffle. I bought some tickets and I won him a couple of years ago. And so he sits in my bedroom. So this is Fred. He's going to be part of our lesson today later. So let's get started on Earth Day. Let me flip. This here is why and when Earth Day got started, because maybe you don't know anything about Earth Day. So here is Earth Day, and it was started, the first one happened on April 22nd, 1970, and Senator Gaylord Nelson is the person who started this. It was his idea, and because of that, he ended up winning the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This is Bill Clinton giving him that medal and that honor. And the reason that he decided to do this was in Santa Barbara, there was a giant oil spill in 1969. So the next year he decided to start Earth Day to raise awareness about polluting our earth. Here are some things that happen during Earth Day. They have rallies and conferences where they discuss ways that they can come up with to protect our earth. They do outdoor activities. Like I'm sure picking up trash. They do service projects where maybe they decide to plant trees or make a garden or clean up a park. So those are some things that they have done in honor of Earth Day, and they do those on Earth Day. This is the EPA symbol. It's the Environmental Protection Agency, and the things that they have gotten accomplished is the Clean Air Act, the Water Quality Improvement Act, the Endangered Species Act, and several other environmental laws. So those are things that the EPA does to help protect our environment for endangered animals, like my tiger here. Tigers are very endangered, and so this Endangered Species Act helps protect those animals. Here's some other achievements they have acquired during Earth Day throughout history, and here's one of my favorite. In 2012, their Earth Day goal was to plant 1 billion trees, and so that was something that they decided to do. And so that is where Earth Day comes from. This man right here, it was his idea. This was when it was started, and this was why it was started. And these are all things that you can do during Earth Day, and a good program that was started because of Earth Day. So those are some cool things about Earth Day, and it is today because it is April the 22nd. And it's Writing Wednesday today also, so we will be doing a writing activity today in honor of Earth Day, and it will be kind of fun. So let me just tell you a little bit about our new words. Yesterday I told you one of them was recycle, and the other one is biodegradable. And so let me, hold on, exit out of this. So anyway, something that I do to help the earth, or in honor of Earth Day, and I've done it for many, many years, I do, when I go to the bathroom and I brush my teeth, a lot of people when they brush their teeth in the bathroom, they will just leave the water on while they're brushing their teeth. I don't. I wet my toothbrush, put the toothpaste on there, turn the water off, and brush my teeth for 1 to 2 minutes. And then I turn the water on when I'm cleaning my toothbrush and taking the stuff out of my mouth and putting it down the sink, instead of leaving the water on the whole time I'm brushing my teeth. And that's a good way for you to help keep the earth, clean. It's also a good way to not waste water. So that's just an easy thing that you can do at your own home, something that I do that everyone could do that would help save water. Another thing is always turn your lights off and your television and other things when you're not in those rooms. Sometimes I forget, just like everyone does, but it's a good thing to have, a good idea to turn them off when you're not in there. I know it's easy to leave them on when you go to another room because like I said, I forget too, but those are two things. So definitely the teeth brushing thing, super, super easy. And always put your trash in the trash can, no matter where you are. Always put your trash in the trash can. All right, let's look at our words. Okay, so we have recycle, which is a verb, which means to convert waste into reusable material. And then we have biodegradable, which is an adjective, which is a describing word capable of being decomposed by bacteria or other living organisms. So recycle is something that we can do as people, and biodegradable is something that the earth and animals do to put things that we use back into the earth. Now let's look at how those two things are different. This is the recycling symbol. Notice it's kind of like a food chain symbol, but it goes this direction. That's because everything is interconnected. Okay, and then it says, here we go. It says, these are things that are recyclable. Paper, newspapers, magazines, and mixed paper, cardboard, glass bottles and jars, rigid plastic, tin, aluminum, and steel cans. So those are all things that you can take to a recycling bin. You can take them to a place that recycles those items. So if you had like pop cans, those are recyclable. If you read magazines or newspapers, those are recyclable. I know in Dibble we don't have one anymore, but we used to, which was really cool at the school, have a recycling bin that you could throw all of our like paper that we'd use that we didn't need anymore. We put it in there and it went to a recycling plant. So that's a good way to recycle. I know we live out in the country, but I also used to, with my third graders, we used to collect cans in the month of April, and then we would turn the cans in at Norman, and it was pop cans, all the pop cans around the campus, and then we would take the money and we would throw ourselves a party because you can get paid to recycle some things too. So there you go. Now let's look at the difference between recycling and biodegradable. So if you recycle something, it's going to go somewhere else to become something else, become something new. You're recycling it. Let me show you the next one, which is biodegradable. Now these things are biodegradable, and what that means is these can be put actually right on the earth, and or if they fall on the ground, let's put it that way, they can go back into the earth. We have vegetable and fruit waste, like your peels and your extra ends off your vegetables and fruit, eggshells and coffee sediment, tea and coffee filter bags, those are the little paper bags and the little paper coffee filters, non-liquid cooked food waste and bones, stale bread and biscuits, tissues, paper towels, and paper sacks, and other paper products. So those are all things that you can use. Now, the reason that we can recycle paper things is because it's made from trees, which is a natural resource. So if it comes from something like that, usually it's going to be biodegradable. So if you're driving down the road and you throw your banana peel out the window, that's going to be okay because the banana peel is going to go back into the earth because it's biodegradable. If you throw your pop can or your water bottle out of your window, that is not going to be biodegradable. You have to recycle those things. They cannot go back into the earth. They have to be repurposed. So that's the difference between those two things. You can add those two words to your Word Nerd page, so you'll have those. And you can look back on here if you didn't write those down quick enough, and you can add a sentence and synonyms and antonyms if there are one. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our new figurative language for today. And let me turn this around. It is Onomatopoeia. And that is our skill for today. And it's the information or the formation of a word from a sound associated with what is named. So what that means is it's going to be a sound. So when you see the word, you think of the sound. So words that make sounds. We have sizzle, plop, boom, wow, oh my gosh, oops, wham, poof, smash, pop, pow, zap, crash, splat. So those are all words that make sounds, and that's what onomatopoeia is. And that's our new skill for today. So let me tell you what your assignment is. Let me show you. Okay, here we go. There is a picture of a white tiger, which was what I drew yesterday, and this is Fred the flamingo. So I have Tabitha the tiger and Fred the flamingo. And it says we're going to write a fictional story about your stuffed animal. And it can be a plastic animal or your pet at home, it doesn't matter. Use personification, alliteration, and onomatopoeia in your story. It needs to be at least a half a page, but can be more. Please highlight your examples of these three types of figurative language as you use them. Now let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to read you mine. Okay, so oops, here, let me show you my paper. There's my paper, and notice I've got things highlighted, and that's because those were parts of the figurative language that I used in my story. Okay, so let me read you my story it's about Fred. There's old Fred. Look at Fred, he's so cute. Fred, and it's about Tabitha. Okay, so that's who I wrote about. And it says, this is my title, Fred the Flamingo Feels Forgotten. Alliteration. Fred the Flamingo feels furious because Tabitha Tiger forgot to send Fred a friendly invite to her fabulous fiesta. Tabitha called fiery Fred on the phone. She said, "Fred, darling, the fantastic fiesta is in full swing. Why aren't you here, talking to all of our faithful friends?" Fred frantically fainted to the floor. Bang! He hit his head. Tabitha heard a loud crash. She sighed. "Fred, did you fully faint?" Fred found his phone and inquired, "In all fairness, frankly, Tabitha, I didn't receive an invite." Tabitha replied, "Did you check your full email?" Fred screamed, "Fruity feathers! I forgot." Tabitha Tiger replied, "Well, get your favorite fabric on, jump in your Ferrari fastly to come see your friends." Fred finally arrived. He flashed into the party with his fern-like feathers and strutted into the fiesta, fashionably late. Okay, so that was my story, and let me turn it around here. So you can see here's Fabulous Fiesta, Fred Flamingo feels furious. Those are alliterations. And then we have over here, Bang and Crash. Those are some onomatopoeias. And then we also have, I have things underlined of things that Fred and Tabitha do that are examples of personification. Obviously, this whole story was because they were talking. It is a fictional story. And they were talking and having a fiesta and driving a Ferrari and fainting and doing all the things that people do. So there is your assignment. So I want you to do that and have that ready. You can either do it today and send it to me today or do it tomorrow. Now, don't forget, tomorrow I want to see your recycling item. You're supposed to be taking an item or items, whatever you find at your house, and making it into something else. I'm working on mine and I will be showing it to you tomorrow, but you have 2 assignments now that need to be done. So those 2 things. So you need to write down your story about your animal, and then you also need to do your recycling. Remember, I told you you could write something about that if you wanted to. Okay, so we're gonna read in our, I'm just gonna put this right here so I can see you. Okay. All right, so we're gonna read in Darth Paper Strikes Back. And remember yesterday, Harvey took the file and he is now written all over it and made his own conclusion at the end. So it'll be interesting to see what he thinks about Origami Yoda and what has happened with Dwight not being at school. And let's see what he says. And there are no pictures, no doodling in this section because Kellen and Tommy don't have this section. This is something Harvey just added. Origami Yoda Doesn't Belong Here by Harvey. Dear school board members, I came to school to learn, not to watch a daily puppet show. I support Principal Rabsky's attempts to help us focus on our schoolwork, especially the important standard of learnings test. For this reason, I have always objected to Dwight's use of the finger puppet, especially in the library and the classroom. I also object to many of Dwight's other activities, which also interfere with the learning process, but which are too numerous and too gross to state here. When you consider the stories in the so-called case file that Tommy has collected, you'll notice that the reoccurring theme is Dwight disrupting the learning environment over and over again. Here are some examples. Talking a student out of taking a model rocketry class so that he could sit with a girl he likes in home ec. Potentially jeopardizing the school fundraiser. Turning the class insect collection activity into an unpleasant game of one-upmanship. And most seriously, issuing a strained and ominous statement that could easily be seen as a threat. Now, I do not believe that Dwight would really want to hurt anyone, but as you have heard, his strange statements certainly have the power to upset people who are not sure about his intentions. For this reason, I encouraged Jen to tell Principal Rabsky about the 0 hour comes prepare to meet your doom threat that Dwight made. I feel that we are a big family at Macquarie Middle School, and it's every student's job to look out for the other students. I felt it best for everyone that a responsible adult was made aware of Dwight's statement. I hope that Dwight receives the help he needs and that everyone will eventually realize that I have acted in his best interest as well as those of Macquarie Middle School. Thank you for your time, Harvey. Okay, so that's kind of sad because we just found out that Harvey did actually encourage Jen, the girl who was the cheerleader, to tell on Dwight, and that is the whole reason that he is suspended and might be having to go to CREF. So that's sad. Well, we'll see what Tommy and Kellen think about that tomorrow, because that was Harvey's conclusion. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to do our factor crud. I didn't do it yesterday, so let me do that real quick. So your question for today says, on hot days, vultures will often poop all over their legs to cool themselves down. So you have to decide, does a vulture actually poop on its own legs to keep itself cool when it's hot outside? And a vulture is a giant bird. So you need to look that up if you don't know what a vulture looks like. Now let me show you these pictures here. Maybe you kind of saw them when I was flipping around. This is another way that you can use nature in your home. I took these pictures these are the Grand Teton Mountains up in Montana and Wyoming. They're in Wyoming. This is where I took the picture in Wyoming. And then this is Yellowstone National Park. These are the geysers, some of the geysers that are in the park. They're absolutely beautiful. And so I took both of those pictures at myself, and then I use them in my bedroom. I have about 15 pictures from my trips of beautiful nature sites that I saw while I was visiting up there, and I use them as my artwork. So that's another way you can use things from the earth to help promote positivity towards the earth. I love nature and I love animals. Okay, so my next thing we're gonna watch for Earth Day is, this is a cute little animals enjoying nature. These are all just different animals enjoying their time outside in nature. So hold on, let me get it going here. Oops. Okay, hold on, I'm almost ready. Sorry, gotta switch between slides. Okay, here we go. Now remember, when this is over, I'll hopefully get to say goodbye. Sometimes it cuts me off. If it does, just remember to do your story. Write that personification, alliteration, and all those things that you're supposed to put in your story, and then to do your recycling project. All right, here we go. Oh, little hedgehog, isn't he cute? Oh, they're getting him a little drink there. Look at that. Little licking some type of honey or something. Oh. Ooh, sharks. It's like stingrays or manta rays. Oh, there's a dog swimming in there. Ooh, look at that. Hey, Buck, I bet you like that. Oh, look at those little puppies in the snow. They're so cute. That's like my crazy dog. Loving the plants on the ground. Animals, plants, beautiful earth things. Oh, look at the little rabbit and the puppy dog. Cute. Woo! That kitty's trying to get some snowballs there. Oh, man. Most cats don't like to swim, except for tigers. Tigers love the water. But domesticated cats usually don't like water. That's cool. That one likes it. Oh, look at this. Playing chase. Oh my. He's really getting after it. Woo! He's found something that's under the bushes he's trying to get. Woo! Hopping like a rabbit, even though he's a dog. Aww. There's a dog swimming with a dolphin. That's so cool. That's a big old stick.
You're carrying it, I'm not. Let's go. Let's go.
Talking to the sheep. Oh my, look at that bobcat. He's on the top of a saguaro cactus. Wow. I'm not shaking that, the video is shaking. Wow, that's cool. Look how high up he is. I wonder how he got up there. Okay, so that was our fun video about animals and their fun activities that they like to do outside and have adventures. I hope you enjoy Earth Day today. Do something good for the planet and do your homework. And I love you. And remember, tomorrow is the land run day, so you need to find your cowboy hat and whatever else you want to wear. You want to draw a mustache, whatever you want to put on for Cowboy Day for our land run of 1889. Like I said, I love you. Hope you have a great day. And remember, kindness is a language everyone can hear.